Hi there, I'm Budda, and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. Last night, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a shrink, who happens to be a shrink, and he was telling me his job, when it was done properly, is all about listening. 98% of his job is listening when it's done properly. And it really sparked an idea for an episode, because actually, that's all I think is important in a musician. Whenever you're playing, listening is the most critical part. And really often people forget about that. I record a lot of bands here in the studio. I work with a lot of musicians, either live or in the studio. I teach. And the thing most often people forget about is listening. Judge yourself, like listen what you're playing and figure out if you like it or not. If you don't like it, it's not good. Then listen to other musicians when you play with other musicians. I run 2 weekly jam sessions, blues jam sessions. And more than often, people forget about listening to the other musicians. If someone is soloing, you should be backing him up, not playing on top of him. So you have to listen to what he's playing, to where he's going, to where he's leading the journey of the music, so you can back him up and support him, so you both sound great. When I'm here in the studio recording bands, a lot of people forget how to listen, forget to listen to their fellow musicians who are playing with them. And that's one of the reasons I really like to record the live band here in the studio and do it live with no headphone mix. So you're listening to what's happening and you're not listening to a mix that only you will listen ever in forever. So no one will ever listen to your headphone mix again. And the conversation I was having with the friend of mine really made me think that it is kind of romantic and philosophical even, but it's actually what music is all about. It's like listening to other musicians. When you play here in the studio, playing live with no headphones, if the drummer who's over there can't listen to the bass player that is over here, it's because he's playing too loud. So he has to play quiet and to balance his mix in order to be balanced with the bass player, and vice versa. If the guitar is too loud all over, if the guitar is too loud on the room mics, it's because it's too loud. So we need to quiet it up, down. And if you balance yourself within the band's dynamics, you get a great band sound. I worked that a lot unconsciously, not thinking really that I was doing that, but I was always very, very demanding to my bands to get the proper balance. We need to play balanced in the room. The band needs to sound like a record. We can't go to a stage and sound like whatever and hope the sound guy solves the problems we should have solved. And that's solved with arrangement, with dynamics, with band sound. And I'm really proud to say that all the bands I play in, all my bands are really well balanced, because everyone has learned and has crafted their parts for everything to sound great on zero. Every sound engineer we get live, now we bring our own sound guy to take it to another level. But every sound engineer we get live always complements the sound of the band. They always say like, man, I do nothing. I just put the faders up and it's all there. We use 2 mics on the drums. Why? Because the drummer needs to balance his tone. So I insist a lot, for example, with Nico, who's my brother and plays with me, to get dark cymbals. Cymbals are always too bright in the mix. So you have to get darker cymbals in order to blend better with the drum heads. So you have a warm tone with the drum heads, a warm tone with the cymbals. Because if you have a super harsh tone with the cymbals and a super warm, dark tone with the heads, it will be completely unbalanced, and the drum sound will be cymbals, cymbals, cymbals. It's pretty obvious, right? So That's critical to me, and I wanted to share with you guys this concept that is so simple yet so powerful to change your approach to music. So for example, if you're playing by yourself, if you're practicing, listen to what's coming out of your guitar. Don't just play it with your fingers. Don't just put the hands on the right place. Try to make it sound as good as you can and work on making it sound good. I more than often have students or people that come to my workshops or masterclasses, and they start playing the groove of let's say they want to record a loop on a pedal to solo on top of it. And the loop is terrible. A lot of times the loop is terrible because they're only thinking about getting to the solo. So they want to get to the solo, so they want to have just a background backing track on a loop pedal, forgetting that is what should be informing the solo. That should be what would be supporting the solo and supporting the practice of the solo. If you have a crappy backing track, you will have a crappy solo because your solo won't be as inspired, as supported as if you have a great rhythm track. And that is crafted by listening to you playing, because you have 2 ears, hopefully, but if you're playing, you have ears that listen to music and that help you decide what you like and what you don't like. And that's very subjective, but you know what you like because you listen to a band or you listen to a record or to a live show. You go and watch a live show and you say, man, this guy plays really great. Or you listening on YouTube to some video and there's some guys that you really like, man. Like I was watching J.D. Simo, I think it's Grizzly Bear, some kind of vlog that he does. And he always starts playing and man, the way he plays, it's so perfect. Or Tom Bukovac, another great player. Like they play by themselves and it's so musical that it's perfect. You don't need anything else. And that is crafted. You need to work on that. If you're not at that level, work to get there. I'm not saying all of you will get, or all of us will get to Tom Bukovac's level, but we need to try to get there and work and make an effort to get to that space where what you play, when you listen to it, it's great, but you have to be listening. So 98% of your job is listening, and you'll get way better at playing guitar or any kind of instrument because it's the same to anyone. Hope you liked it. If you're liking what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, of course, leaving the thumbs up. And if you want to support even more, you can become a patron. So thank you so much to all my dear patrons who always support the channel. You guys are incredible. I can't thank you enough. And by becoming a patron, you'll be getting early access to episodes and a lot of free goodies. I'm also opening some more spots for guitar lessons via Skype or Zoom or whatever. So if you're interested, just send me a message via Instagram or Facebook or send me an email and we'll deal with it from there. Hope you liked it. Bye-bye. See you next week.